The economic fallout of the COVID-19 pandemic is also affecting the down and out of society. The homeless are taking hit from cruise ship bans and commercial shutdowns as they are unable to solicit a handout to purchase food. Chief Executive Officer of the Castries Constituency Council (CCC), Wilfred Pierre, says the marginalized groups must be remembered during these trying times.
One of them was, I had a discussion with a friend of mine who is a vagrant, and he was telling me, boy, look how they close down they're closing down the city, they don't have a lot of people in town, so my income has dropped. I never looked at it that way, because what they do, they beg people, and if there's no people in the city to beg, that reduces on their income. So we have to take that very seriously, these persons that are vagrants and things like that. And we have to look for intervention, maybe things like providing them with food and things, so having a meal. So we actually looking to see whether we can address that situation. But we cannot forget these people. They are there, and because of their economic situation, they cannot fend for themselves. So we have to provide some support for them. Mm-hmm.
The council is playing its part to curb the spread of the virus and will be providing public wash areas to encourage good hand washing practices. In addition, the council wants to put a stop to large groups at the cemetery in keeping with mass crowd restrictions to enforce social distancing to prevent an outbreak of COVID-19.
One which is close to our building, the other one is on Columbus Square, the side facing the church. We're hoping to put another one on the other side facing the library, and one closer in town. We are looking at our cemetery also to see how we can deal with that situation. As you know, because of the situation with the church, where they're allowing, I think, less than about 10 persons, what you find is that what we have observed, you get a bigger crowd at the cemetery itself. So we have to now put in mechanism to stop persons from having that crowd of persons at the cemetery. And even the bloco, they actually bring in the bloco to the cemetery and things.
There are also plans to close public spaces in Castries to minimize public interaction.
For example, Columbus Square, not Columbus Square, Derek Walker Square, sorry. This is going to be closed. Serenity Park, we're hoping to close, because we really want to minimize the amount of persons that come to these areas. We also have our vendors, quite a bit of, like, for example, the arcade. You find just about 2 or 3 vendors because of the fact that you don't have the cruise ship. So we're looking into that also.
Chief Executive Officer of the CCC, Wilfred Pierre, says COVID-19 is a financial burden on the CCC as sanitization work must continue amid the country shut down while also keeping employees safe and protected. The council will shorten working hours, implement a shift system, and close down comfort stations to mitigate the spread of the virus. Gina Filippi, HTS News Force.